Therapy with Steve Bivens. An appropriate song to introduce my first guests from the organization Friends of Wings. We welcome Jill Moon and Maryanne Barkley from the Illinois delegation, I suppose, to the sounds of Josh Gropin, You Raise Me Up. And that is what Friends of Wings are all about, if I have done my research.
Yes.
Welcome, Jill.
Hi.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Maryanne.
Thank you.
Tell us about Friends of Wings.
Well, we appreciate, Steve, this opportunity to make a connection with your listeners, be able to talk about compassion in our community. Friends of Wings was formed in 2001 to support BJC hospice programs that help children and their families who have life-limiting and life-threatening illnesses.
Which has got to be it has to take special people to step in and comfort and provide aid to the children who are dying.
Absolutely, and it's a multidisciplinary approach. They want to deal with every aspect of the family's life, not just the clinical, but social, spiritual, emotional, and the practical needs. You have treatment maybe across the river, and you don't have gas money to get there, and need some help. That's what it's for.
Yeah, if you would, I know the organization provides just an array of services and benefits. What are a few of those?
Well, primarily when children start out in treatment for an illness at a hospital, then if that no longer works or is no longer an option, BJC Hospice wants to treat the person and not just the disease anymore. So there is a palliative care program, which is primarily meaning to leave children in their own environment so that they can be surrounded by people and things that they love, and then bring in medical care and social work type care, expressive type therapy care. And then hospice programs are for children who have a life expectancy of 6 months or less.
Amazing. I mean, Jill,
Yes.
how did you get involved in Friends of Wings?
I'm very good friends with the founder. We've been friends for a very long time. And Asha Zimmerman, she asked me to help them do PR type of writing as a board member in Missouri. And then about almost 2 years ago, she asked me to start recruiting to form a branch of our board for Illinois to raise awareness of BJC hospice programs, particularly Wings, pediatric hospice. So I did, and now I'm the bi-state liaison between the two boards. We're the same, but
Sure.
It's a branch of each other.
Talk about the Wings on Wheels program.
Wings on Wheels was created to extend expressive therapy into the community. It's actually a van that has an expressive therapist as a driver. It's brightly colored, has butterflies on the side, and says, "Wow, Wings on Wheels," so you can't miss it. And it's meant to be out in the community helping. It may be a soccer team that had a child that's in service, and the soccer team is missing that child. And it can also act as a liaison between some of the children that are in service or homebound. And so recently the Wings vehicle went to that child's school, and with some of their friends, they created a song. They brought the song back to this young lady, and so she could still feel connected to her classmates and still feel a part of that community with that group.
And WOW is offered at no charge to community groups.
Absolutely.
And families.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
appeared at Munganast Toyota, and I want to thank them for hosting us for Goodwill Grill last summer, and the WOW vehicle was there.
Talk about a case that might have stuck with you, that really touched your heart.
Well, as Maryanne had mentioned, we're the emotional support fundraising arm. So we do have a program that we directly get to interact with families. It's called Joyful Celebrations. And that's when we celebrate a milestone with a child and their family in the service where a board member or volunteer, doesn't have to be a board member at all, who has gone through a little training, gets to take let's say a birthday cake and balloons to the family. So I delivered cake and balloons and a gift card to Kyle, a young man in, I believe it was Troy. It was astonishing. I mean, just the joy that the children that he had, and he liked Mickey and many Disney characters, and he just smiled, and he had limited speech ability, but I could totally understand his joy. So, and his mom and dad were so grateful, and they sent me a thank you note later, and which, yeah.
And Joyful Celebrations is a wonderful opportunity for people who maybe don't feel like they want to commit the time to be on a board or have that sort of serious side and get to interact. If you've been a person who's like to volunteer at hospitals or that sort of thing, it would be a perfect. We're having a training April 21st at 5:30, and Alton at the Multi-Specialist Building, and they can contact that through friendsofwings.org.
If people want to get involved to either participate in your service, to be a volunteer,
right,
or if they need your services, how do they go about that?
Well, to volunteer, you can look us up at friendsofwings.org, and it will give all the information about the organization if you want to on the fundraising side and be a supporter in that way. If you're a family who's needing services, which to us the real tragedy of someone who has a situation, then they would not know that services were available. So bjchospice.org.
And you have a fundraiser coming up April 1st, and it's April Fool's Day, but that doesn't mean you're not going to do it.
Nope, we're going to do it 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Mike Shannon's Grill in Edwardsville, right there on Plum Street. If you go to our Friends of Wings website, friendsofwings.org, you can download a flyer and present that flyer to your service server at the table, and then 10% will benefit Friends of Wings. We also are doing Go St. Louis. We also have, if you live in Troy, Illinois, or live around there, Time Out Time Out Bar and Grill on March 9th from 5 to 8. That's another one of those, your dinner is your donation, good. 10%. Everybody got to eat.
Well, ladies, you're special to be doing this. Jill Moon, Maryanne Barkley, Friends of Wings. If you want to hear more or see more about them, again, though, your website is friendsofwings.org. We'll be right back. You're listening to Z1570 Afternoon Therapy.